Hey, Rob Brinded here. I'm going to be talking about intelligence in yourself, or how to improve intelligence in yourself, how to increase your energy. And I'm talking about not through coffee, like your internal and life force, internal energy, intelligence and freedom from the mind. I'm doing this it will be the same as if you're an individual, if you're a parent and you want that for your children. If you want your children to be happy and intelligent, I think you'll find this video important. Okay, so you might hear some noise in the background. I've got the kids in the house, and that's one of the things. If your kids don't go to school, they're going to be around, and kids are lively. Someone said they're like little storms in a clear sky. So you might hear them now and again. So let's look at. So I've been really using my mind and intelligence, the intellect, to try and to work out what the project that we're working on, which is called a place to be, based in Madeira for world schoolers, to come and stay, and a self-directed learning environment. It's like the three pillars are a self-directed learning environment with small different hubs of different learning areas, say on a beautiful plot of land, a place for people to stay for a week, months, world scholars, so like a hub. And the third stool is going to be my work, and Sylvia's, my wife's, because she's been working, she's been in this for years as well, is freedom from the mind, how to decentral mind your way from a central authority. So this is where I want to talk about today. Is the problem is, if we look at the educational system that we've all been through, and which is there today, it's an old, antiquated system. Okay, I'm not going to go into that today, but we know that, I think I was looking at a stat yesterday, in the last 10 years, mental health problems in kids has increased by 6-fold. The pressure, the suicide, mental health, self-harm, everything is through the roof. There's going to be different reasons for that, but one of the reasons given is pressure at school, pressure on the hamster wheel of success to succeed. So I want you to look just carefully at that. So when the system is based, when you're a child, you put a child into school, and the system is based on this. There are different schools, and some may be better than others, but the system's an antiquated system. It's already set in stone from a long time ago. So you can have different schools coming up with different styles of schooling, but the system's the same. So children are coerced into learning. They're coerced. They have to learn all these different subjects, a curriculum. Okay. Whenever you coerce a child, you create fear. Because when you coerce them and then they have to pass tests, that creates fear. I think pretty much everyone agrees with that. And then even if you're one of the children that are very good at memorization, so did very well in the class, it still definitely breeds competition between the students and fear. Now, as John Holt said, the wonderful educator who sort of championed unschooling, he said that fear is the enemy of learning. And whenever you're fearful, that shuts off your creativity, and the only real way you can learn then is through mechanical learning of regurgitation. So you coerce a child, a stronger word would be to force. You coerce a child to learn against their will, because if you look at the way children learn, they flip between different things and they do whatever they like, and every child is different. So that creative spark of learning, that love of learning is there in a child. You put them in a system where you coerce it, you kill that learning, that self-directed learning drive. And fear is the enemy of learning, which is inevitable when you coerce. So the school, because of the system which was created, maybe some people say it was created to manufactured children. They're easily you can control them, and so they don't question the elites. Some people think that, or you think people created an educational system to breed industrial workers for the factories, which is why they set the classrooms up as they did. And you know, there were bells, and you could put your hand up if you went to go to the toilet. Or I'm kind of a little bit more forgiving and said they really wanted to help children to learn. Whenever the central mind comes in and they want children to be more able based on the intellect, you always create the opposite. We'll talk more about that with the mind and the hamster wheel. I've talked other videos about hamster wheels. But the gaming of the schooling system in my day and now, kids I work with, or you just really, any kid, you have to be good at memorization to pass the tests. So this memorization of secondhand information, of knowledge is always secondhand. So we condition children to be able to memorize and condition them for secondhand information. Condition them, coerce them, and condition them to learn secondhand information. And the system isn't set up to question that information because that's too chaotic. So they will, the authority is the teacher, and you get good teachers and bad teachers, but fundamentally the authority is the teacher, and they tell the kids what to learn, and then the kids get conditioned to follow authority and become mechanical in their learning. Fact. And because it is a system based on competition and competing and reward when you do well at memorization, the children become junkies for praise externally. So you get good grades, then you get praise. So when you're successful in passing the tests or exams, you get praise, and that conditions the child for the hamster wheel of achieving status, recognition, praise by working hard. And it is not self-driven. It is maybe some children, maybe there are some children that are self-driven to pass those exams, but the children are conditioned to follow authority, become mechanical thinkers, and to crave reward by teachers, parents, etc., for getting good grades. And then the school is a label like, oh, my boy goes to this school, or my girl went to Cambridge, and there's the labeling of children. They're good because they go there. They're good because they're able to memorize and they're better. And that's that's the fact. And so this conditioning creates adults who are seeking happiness and fulfillment via rewards by getting better status, better jobs, better houses, better cars, better. This system conditions humans not to be happy or peaceful, but it conditions this hamster wheel of striving. And at some point, humans, not all humans, will start to ask the question, isn't there more than this? Because I'm never happy. So if we come back to the schooling system, which is the start of this conditioning, that is not set up for happiness. No, that conditions the hamster wheel of striving for praise. And because we become focused on old knowledge, we start to we admire that sort of cunning intellect. We put that up on a high pedestal. But I work with those people, and they're absolutely wrecked, depressed, addicts, etc. They're not happy. I work with extremely high net worth individuals, and they're absolutely hate their lives. They're empty, grey vessels of humans. So So there we condition, and let me just bring my notes up. So we're conditioned that way. And so at some point in a life, usually adults start to go, isn't there another way? And they start looking for something more than this. And so maybe they go spiritual, maybe they follow religion, etc., etc. But anything that involves beliefs, or anything where you follow an authority, and again, secondhand information to try and find out about yourself, that's an impossibility. You can only find out about yourself not by secondhand knowledge, but by observing yourself, looking at the way you behave. And there's no learning as in accumulating knowledge. You learn as you observe. And that's the glitch there. So if you want to be, happy and peaceful, you have to observe the behavior that is imprisoning you, the hamster wheel, to dissolve it. Okay? By the way, there's two ways off the hamster wheel. One is through seeking of pleasure and addictions, or pleasure which are addictions. So the hamster wheel is an addiction. We become addicted to praise and status and achievement and competition. And we admire the great athletes who compete to destroy everyone. They are given gold medals, gold stars. The other way, so there's an addiction. So we escape via movies, via porn, via alcohol, drugs, marijuana, because it's impossible to stay on this. So you can escape via that, but it comes with a problem. Addiction is just at all-time highs, of course, because the hamster wheel is being reinforced, and with social media, it's compounded. The other way, the only way to be free from this hamster wheel, is to observe in real time your behavior, to shine light into darkness, and the truth will set you free. Okay, Buddha knew this, Krishnamurti knew this. There's kernels of truth in old religions, but anything where you have to trust in an authority and not trust in an authority, there's no truth. There's no understanding of the self, which is freedom from following other people. So you're your own authority. Don't trust, verify, question everything. And in doing so, you will have the strongest energy you can ever imagine. The sharpness of your mind, because you're not living off old accumulated knowledge, secondhand knowledge, you'll become a first-hand person. You'll be sharp, and you'll be questioning everything, and there's a lot of energy in that. You'll start to see that pleasure seeking is just a byproduct of the hamster wheel, and so all your pleasure seeking will drop down very quickly, and you'll just enjoy the bird songs and enjoy your children. And so I said at the beginning of the video, I said, if you want more energy, this is it. If you want to be more intelligent, this is it. And if you want this for your children, well, the moment you put them into the schooling system, the conditioning starts. One of the most famous schools that don't do this is Summerhill School, a democratic school, amazing, created in the 1940s by A.S. Neal. Amazing book, by the way, if you can read that. So what he did and what they do now is they take the parents out of the school, so the kids are boarding, because they know that parents condition the children. And in the book Barefoot in November, I started reading it. I couldn't really get into it because his daughter, who runs it, just says, parents damage the child through their worries and their fear, and they hold them back through their so the parents don't want to condition the children, but just by nature they do, so they take the parents away. I would say that there is another way now. There's a new system. It's for the parents, myself included, is to take absolute responsibility in observing our own behavior, so we dissolve it, so that dissolves it for our children. And if you don't put a child into that old antiquated system, and you allow them to self-direct their own learning, and don't condition them, you will allow a child to have the most nourishing soil, as well as you love them, right? Nourishing soil. There's light, and there's minerals, and there's energy, and that flower will grow how that flower grows, not based on what you want. And from my experience, and from my reading, and from seeing other children who were not put into the system, their intelligence and their self-confidence and their freedom, self-authority is quite remarkable. So I was speaking to a guy who wasn't really in the system, and I just came away with the word remarkable while speaking to them. So much energy, so much creativity, so much enjoyment of life. So I'm going to finish. This is a longer video, but it's something that I'm really working hard on. I'm going to write a book about this. I talked about it earlier with Silver. We're going to write a book. I think this is the most important thing I can put my energy into now. I love Bitcoin because Bitcoin is a freedom technology. And so that's already having an incredible effect on the world. And it will become more and more important as people wake up to the authority that's becoming compounded. But this work of taking responsibility for all the brutality in the world, we are all humans on a blockchain. When we become individuals based on old knowledge and old patterns and old conditioning, then we are violent and competitive and greedy and ugly. So we are all that. I am that. I take full responsibility for that, and I dissolve that so I don't add, and that takes away. And I think we need to come up with a new system for kids, and that is what I'm working on with A Place to Be. So thanks for listening. I'd love any comments, please pop them down below. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to my channel. That really helps. And it's also really cool just to see that people actually listening and find this important as well. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.